baking championships. They love all that crap.
I do not watch anything on Food Network at all.
Yeah, it's I think it appeals to the engineering sides of their brain when they can see food get put together. And also I don't cook anything, so they're like, "What is this? What is this foreign concept?
What is it like to see cooked food?
What is this?" Since Daisy doesn't do any of this in the home. Hello, everybody.
Once again, you've caught us in mid-conversation.
Right.
We were talking about John Henson and his talk soup days, which we very much enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And you may remember Skunk Boy.
For you guys remember that guy? You remember that guy from Talk Soup? What was that? What was the tagline that we were saying? It was that.
Oh, well, that was
so
for Wipeout.
Meaty.
Oh, for Talk Soup, it was, yeah.
They were talking
so like, meaty.
So meaty. Right. And we loved that show. And we were like, what happened to him? And I said, I've seen him on shows. And I can't remember like where. He's been on some like obscure shows, and it was like Halloween baking championship. And I'm like, oh yeah, my family watches that. And Mock's like, what? And I said, yeah, my family watches that show because they're really into cooking shows. I just sort of like hang out in the background and do other things. But everybody, I think, in my family loves those shows because I don't cook. So it's like a foreign concept for them when they see shows like that. They think it's really neat.
So who started Talk Soup? Was it Greg Kinnear or was John Henson
first? I think Greg Kinnear was first.
Okay. All right.
And then Skunk Boy. God, Greg Kinnear too. I love him. He's from isn't he from Indiana? I think he's an Indiana boy.
Yeah, I think
that. I think he's an Indiana boy. Pretty sure, which is another reason that I love him. Okay, you guys need to go to forpatriots.com/chicks. Get that deluxe 3-month survival food kit. It's deluxe, you guys. It's a 3-month survival food kit. And you can get peace of mind with that too, because we all need that. Because you in danger, girl. So do it. forpatriots.com/chicks. Do it. Do it.
I don't know what's happening on Monday, but it's not going to be good. I feel like things are happening. I'm just not interested in participating in life on Monday.
Monday's the 15th. You may want to like stay close to home on Monday. You know?
Yeah, because people are crazy right now. People are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I sent you just the strangest conversation that I had on the Twitter machine. Somebody got mad at us yesterday for they said that we were snotty about super chats, about this specific person's super chats. And I don't recognize, like, whatever she goes by on Twitter, I don't think she goes by here on YouTube. So, but she said, you're both so snotty at my super chats. My point always goes over your heads. It's not fun anymore. And I was like, what? Like, we are never going to be snotty about super chats because we appreciate the crap out of those. But it's true that sometimes I don't understand. I can't, there's typos and I'm not jiving with what people say and we can't read minds. And I could not believe that someone was mad about that. Like mad that they took to Twitter to talk about it.
Yeah. Like, and also we're trying to do a show, you know, like I'm just being honest. Like we want to make sure that we notice and that we acknowledge and that we're super grateful and thankful because we are with every single one of those. But at the same time, we got to keep moving and we got to do a show. That's, you know what I mean? It's important that we do that.
That was,
and like snotty, really?
No, I don't think we've ever. I mean, I can't fathom being snotty about someone sending us a super chat. It's like the nicest thing that people can do. Like, why would we be snotty about that? And so I responded and I was like, I don't even know what this means, but you know, I don't think we're snotty at super chats. We always appreciate them, but we are honest when they don't make sense to us because we know that you want your message to be acknowledged, but sometimes all we can do is read them and then if we don't understand what you're saying, like I can't apologize for that because again, we don't read minds.
And also, and just to add, if we miss them at the end of a show, my God, you guys, like, we're like, oh my God, we missed so-and-so's, you know, we missed this. We got to like say it tomorrow. First thing out of the gate tomorrow, we got to acknowledge that person. We get so freaked out about that. So just know, like, if we miss you, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world every day.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And so she answered and she was like, I'm not trying to be comedic. I'm just making a point that might help with the context of certain things. I understand you can't dwell on all super chats. As a production professional, I get it. No harm meant with my comment. Just don't feel like I can contribute anymore. And I was like,
okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for your previous contributions.
Right.
I'm sorry that we did not acknowledge them to your satisfaction, but we did the best we could.
Right.
So anyways, people will get mad at us for the strangest things, you guys.
I know.
It's some crazy stuff. It is crazy. But I will tell you right now what is not crazy, and that is the miracle products, I should say, from our friends at Coat Defense. This is dog shampoo. It's for your dogs.
It's great.
It's so
and the balm,
good.
Theo had a hot spot on his armpit. He's such an allergy boy. Yes. And I put that all over his little hot spot, went away.
This is their products for dogs. I mean, and it's not even just dogs, but their products for dogs is kind of like their bread and butter. The shampoo, most of all, their preventative powder. Why am I not? There we go. The preventative powder, which takes care of, any kind of itching or rashes that they might have. It calms their itch. It protects their skin. This is amazing stuff. And it's actually saved people heaps and heaps of money from vet bills and from high cost prescriptions. But all of their products, they make them for cats, for horses, and for people too. These are actually saving owners so much heartache and worry over their dogs, thinking that, oh my God, my dog won't stop chewing her toe beans and her feet, and she's just constantly scratching, and I can't get this fixed. And they use Coat Defense either preventatively or as a treatment, and they are seeing immediate and amazing results. And so this is why we love this company. They make top-notch stuff. And when you use code CHICKS at checkout at coatdefense.com, you can save 15% off of your entire order. So if you have a pet and you have pet skin issues, look no further than coatdefense.com. Thank you, Laura Kate Baker. She says, don't fret the haters, Mock and Daisy. I love you both dearly. You make my day every day. Thank you so
and
much
Rhonda. Karen's going to Karen. I love that.
Rhonda Rossi, thank you so much for that. Yes, thank you. Okay, I've got a couple little tidbitty headlines. Obviously, O.J. Simpson died yesterday. Everybody knows that. And we do have a lot to share with you about that. We're going to make that our schlong today. People were like, where's your schlong yesterday? Well, that's going to be the schlong today. So you'll definitely want to stick around until after talks, because we've got a lot of stuff to share about O.J. Simpson. But I was reminded of a few shows that we did on the radio when you and Rob were telling me, because I did not know, that stamps were 50 cents or 51 cents or something. And I completely lost my shit over that. Do you remember that? And I was
yes, I absolutely remember that. You're like, 50 cents. Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Obviously, you're not the person who mails things in your family. So Ron will buy stamps or whatever, and he gets the kind that don't have the amount on them, and so I just see like a flag or I don't know what I don't even know what the stamps cost right now. I mean, they're more than I'm pretty sure they're 66 cents now, something like that. Yeah, is that right? Is that right, you guys? Are they 60 something cents? Is that right?
You have got to be kidding me.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, wow. So they are really
somebody said 72.
But that's the thing, is that the USPS has this is the reason I brought it up, is because there was a headline saying that the Postal Service wants stamps to be 73 cents. 73 cents?
I know.
I'm sorry, but I'm just like, do you remember the days of like less than 20-cent stamps?
I do. Which ages us, but yes, I do remember those days. I remember those days. I remember when gas was really cheap. I remember all sorts of things being cheap. Remember?
Oh my God.
You guys remember?
Wow. That, yeah.
Good times.
Your forever stamps now. Forever stamps are the way to go, man.
I'm sure there are people out there that remember homes being like way less than what I think homes being like 50 grand. Remember when cars weren't $100,000? You guys, that's the thing that I just find so asinine, is car prices are stupid.
Oh my God. They're out of control.
I'm gonna get on a soapbox. Well, you need to move on. I'm gonna seriously, I'm gonna go crazy right now.
When we were looking to get Jackson's, when we were looking for what we were going to get him as a car when he turned 16, I was like, well, we'll just find something that's like, 8 or 9 grand. It'll be fine. And Ron was like, that's not a thing anymore. Like that.
Yeah.
That's
our older kids. We did that. We did that with our older kids. We got them piece of crap like $5,000 cars. We could do
because you
that.
could.
You could. Yeah, you could. They were just junk cars you could find, and they just drove those for several years. And nowadays, you can't really do that.
That was the before times.
I love the before times, you
I love
guys.
the before times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Tim Foolery, thank you so much. Tim Foolery says you're my favorite snots.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get to one other quick celebrity headline, and this is like there were not enough eye rolls when I saw this. So Margot Robbie, who you know was the big star of the Barbie movie, which inexplicably was extraordinarily popular.
She was also in Wolf of Wall Street. You remember?
Oh yeah,
she was the Duchess.
Yeah, that was a fantastic movie.
Great movie.
Barbie, not so much, and yet it was enormously popular. It was a terrible, awful, horrible, stupid movie. And now she has announced that she's going to produce and likely star in a Monopoly movie. And I just
why are they making a movie?
Do we have to bring every toy to life? Why are we doing this?
God, I swear to God. Again, listen, I say it all the time. They just have zero innovation in this generation. They just nobody has any creativity. We're gonna make a Monopoly movie,
right? It's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
Stupid.
Anyway, so those are your pre-video headlines that I wanted to get to. We do need to talk about Herridge, Catherine Herridge, who is like a legit journalist. And as you remember, she was fired from CBS. And then there was this whole hullabaloo about CBS basically pushing her out the door and seizing all of her work, which included her confidential sources, which of course is like so anti-First Amendment that it's almost undescribable. So there have been Capitol Hill hearings about this that included not only Catherine Herridge, but also Cheryl Attkisson, which is the reason for my name today. And so we'll start with just a clip of Catherine Herridge telling the committee, this is part of her opening statement.
I was laid off in February. An incident reinforced in my mind the importance of protecting confidential sources. CBS News locked me out of the building and seized hundreds of pages of my reporting files, including confidential source information. Multiple sources said they were concerned that by working with me to expose government corruption and misconduct, they would be identified and exposed. I pushed back, and with the public support of my union, SAG-AFTRA, the records were returned. CBS News' decision to seize my reporting records crossed a red line that I believe should never be crossed again by any media organization in the future.
I mean, I can't believe that she has to say that out loud.
I know. It's nuts what's happening. It's wow. And CBS, like, listen, it's not that I wouldn't expect that from CBS, but you totally expect all this stuff from like CNN and MSNBC, and then like my God, where does it stop? Like, our media is a mess. It's just an absolute mess. They all suck. I mean, we could say CBS sucks, but they all suck. And I just, wow. I wonder what
this is like such a basic thing that every media outlet should be super concerned about, is protecting. That is the job of a journalist. And she is actually one of the better ones.
Yeah, she is. But I mean, I've always said that journalism is dead. I mean, it has been in the past 20 years, but there's maybe like a handful that's left, and they're just dying out. She's in our generation, right? I mean, she's probably in her 50s. And she's probably I would imagine she's shaking her. She's so upset and disillusioned by all of this. Can you imagine that happening to you? And it's just like, okay, well, I tried to journalism, and you wouldn't let me journalism.
And Jim Jordan was had a back and forth with her, and she actually likened this. She called it journalistic rape. Here's what she said.
Get the files back. If I didn't have the support of SAG-AFTRA really publicly standing up for journalism, I don't believe that I would have received the files and they would have been returned. And I just want to be clear, Congressman, wherever you work, if this happened to you, it's an attack on free press. It's an attack on the First Amendment. It makes it more challenging for reporters to work in the future. That disrupts the free flow of information to the public. They call it journalism a profession for a reason, because it's about an informed electorate, and it's a cornerstone of our democracy. I can only speak for myself. When my records were seized, I felt it was a journalistic rape.
Ms.
God, we have become a propaganda nation. Like it's the state controls the media, and it's terrifying. Like we're China now, you know?
Well, and it was so good. I guess the timing couldn't have been better than for that NPR senior editor to come out and talk to Barry Weiss about, and he's still there. Like he's the senior editor of NPR right now. And he came out and said, yeah, we've screwed up. And he's as liberal as they come, but he's like, we have like 87, I think is the number, 87 editors on staff. Every last one of them is a Democrat, every last one without exception. And he was like, and we, squelch stories. We would hold stories that we thought didn't make, the Democrats look good. Like he openly said all this stuff. And so I guess good on him for being a whistleblower. We'll see. And that's a publicly funded, we pay for that.
Yeah, we pay for that, which is gross.
Yeah, it is really, really gross. Cheryl Attkisson also in this hearing. It was interesting to hear the line of questioning from Representative McClintock, who I normally really like. But he was pushing her on whether or not what the White House administrations were doing with the press. And I think she was getting aggravated by it, which I can understand, because just because there's no violent attack, like a government official is not coming and like stabbing a journalist, doesn't mean that a journalist still doesn't feel pressure from the government. And that itself is coercive and against the First Amendment. So this was just it was just interesting how he was kind of pushing back on her.
Attkisson, what's your experience?
Well, I think it's interesting to hear people say, and I agree with this, that the government should not be intervening in news coverage. But in my experience at CBS, that happens every day. Members of committees, heads of committees, members of Congress, and the White House call the Bureau in Washington, D.C., contacts that they have, editors and managers up in New York to try to shape our coverage.
Well, that I don't find particularly objectionable, as long as there is no force or threat of force behind that.
Why is that not objectionable?
Do you find that to be the case? Or
I don't know what was said. I just know they called. There's no physical force threatened, but there certainly is a great deal of pressure, weighing on the networks in terms of their coverage.
Well, what about government acts directly? Have you encountered such intimidation yourself directly from the government, or is that all kind of channeled through your employers?
Well, I felt a great deal of pressure channeled through my employers. I was told that certain stories weren't going to air because we were getting phone calls, and even though there was nothing wrong with the stories, let's just let it rest for a day. Let's pick it up another time. They're really mad this time. And there was no objection over the content of the story or the facts. It was they just, as I was told, they just didn't like it, or it was a story that they felt was unfavorable at times.
Don't think
it shouldn't matter if they like it or don't like it.
Right.
They should have no say in this. They should be two separate entities that have nothing to do with one another. The government shouldn't be putting its hands into the media at all. In fact, that's the whole point of journalism. Well, it's like one of the big points of journalists should be whistleblowers on the government. They should be check on the government. They used to do that. It used to be that they would do that. And now the government is so far entrenched in our media that it's such a propaganda machine. They are the media, It's like they're so in bed with one another. It's so gross that you can't separate them now. And she just basically admitted that.
Well, and it's fine. Like if the White House, if somebody from the White House, if they see an article from Cheryl and Cheryl says, "Hey, White House, I'm sending this. Do you have any comment?" Then if they object to it, they can say, "Yes, here's our comment. Here's why we object to it. You can include that in your story." And that's completely fine. But when they actually say to the CBS bosses, "Yeah, we just don't want you to print that at all," that's when it's a problem.
That's suppression.
Yeah.
That's suppression, and that's propaganda, and that's un-American. That's when we become a communist. We're China. It's insanity what's happening.
I just hope that something comes out of this hearing. I mean, I don't know exactly what the objective is, but as we know, hearings often happen and they sound really good, but
it's all they do.
Nothing happens. Right.
It's all that happens. Right.
And then this is actually from back in the fall, but I do think that this law is kind of pushing itself through in Canada. This was Joe Rogan and his guests were talking about attempts by the Canadian government to regulate podcasts.
It was, they just, as I was told, they just didn't like it, or it was a story that they felt was unfavorable at times.
Don't think that can't happen here. Don't think that can. They're regulating podcasts in Canada.
Oh, yeah. I was reading about what they're doing. It's terrifying. So they want to bring in this bill whereby they regulate podcasts. So what they want to do is every podcast streamer or whatever it is platform that makes more than $10 million revenue, not profit, revenue, has to register with the Canadian government. They then want them to hand over information about their content and the people listening to their oh my God. to the government.
Imagine
Trudeau.
getting a hold of Alex Jones's email list.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's absolutely bonkers, you guys.
Yeah, it's going after a podcast. I mean, of course, we wouldn't be included on that if you have to make $10 million.
Right. We don't have anything to worry about.
We have nothing to worry about. But I wouldn't put it past them to have. They do that here. If they could do that here, the government would absolutely do that here, because they would do anything they could to start squelching conservative podcasters, and they would absolutely come after conservative podcasters who use the phrase chin balls.
Without question.
They wouldn't.
Well,
like
and
that,
you remember if you guys have never read about the ridiculousness that we have dealt with when it comes to NewsGuard constantly contacting us and saying, why did you write this? Why did you say this? Why did you say that? And finally, and I tried to cooperate for a long, long time. And then I was like, screw it. You're going to give us a terrible rating no matter what. And so I don't care. You just go do your thing. Right. And now, or more recently, several months ago, I saw that Dave Rubin was contacted by NewsGuard for what he said on a podcast. So it's not even just that they're looking at websites anymore. They're actually listening now to podcasts. NewsGuard is. And of course, they work very much hand in hand with the government. So it's already happening to some extent here too.
Mm-hmm.
They're
insufferable. They're absolutely insufferable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got to the point where Mock, at one point, she wrote the guy back and she did the whole Morgan Freeman thing. And she was like, just stamp your whatever, Sonny. I don't give a shit. That's basically
I literally quoted Shawshank.
Basically what she said to him, because no matter what we do, it's not, they don't care. They just want to suppress conservative voices. That's all. That's what they're in the business of doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We showed a video yesterday, which showed a bunch of like an organized protest. All these anti-Israel, pro-Hamas weirdos are planning a global day of economic unrest on Monday, on April 15th. And you've probably noticed, or maybe you haven't, if you don't pay attention to like stock market or gold prices or whatever, you may not have noticed that gold and other precious metals, the value is like, I mean, it's like taking off. And the reason for that is because gold very much reacts to unstable markets and uncertainty in the world, which can be really a good benefit for you if you are looking to diversify your own financial portfolio and add another layer of protection to it. This is a really nice hedge against some of that market instability. And Birch Gold makes it very, very easy for you to transfer either all of an IRA that you may have sitting around or part of an IRA or other account that you have sitting around, transferring it into gold. And they will teach you all about why it matters and how you can do it so easily. You can just visit birchgold.com/chicks and they will send you a free gold information kit that is so easy to understand, really makes sense of it all. And then there's no obligation. It's just information. And the more educated you are about this kind of stuff, the better. So do yourself a favor and just get the free kit at birchgold.com/chicks. We got some more people to thank. Karen Cirincione, thank you. She says, my super chat got lost the other day and I decided to put it in the insiders group instead. Mock even reached out to apologize. Not needed. This Karen is not a Karen. Love you ladies. But see, we do feel so bad. I saw that and I was like, oh my God. Because you were celebrating something or you're talking about like a family thing that was important to you and we missed it. And I hate that. I hate it. And so that's why we reached out. Thank you for that, Karen. Tracy, thank you. Tracy says, good morning, ladies. Due to my menopausal insomnia, I am able to catch you guys live from Southern California. My mornings aren't complete without some chicks and some chin balls. I love that. Curio23, thank you. Curio says, I'm 15-cent stamps, 53-cent gas, $1.99 Big Mac meals.
You remember the days, you guys?
Remember?
Good times.
God, the before times. C Noons, thank you. C Noon says, head of CBS at the time, David Rhodes, is brothers with Ben Rhodes, Obama's security advisor. He told Attkisson the Benghazi story would not air, even with witnesses. I mean, it's just
unbelievable.
It's incestuous and gross.
Yeah.
Leslie L. Leslie L. Thank you. She says, here's to your first million. Love you, chicks.
Yay. We're on our way.
We're so on our way to that
we are.
First million. Man, we got a ways to go.
We got some time.
Long ways to go. Thank you guys for all of that. All right, let's move on to Chinballs himself, because there is still some question about whether or not we're going to see a debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. What are your current thoughts about that?
No.
Do you have current thoughts?
I do not.
We won't.
I don't think he's going to do it. They're going to figure out a way to get him out of it. There's no way he can do it. And if he does it, it'll be a disaster. I want him to do it. I think that would be the greatest thing ever for our side. And also, if RFK is involved, it'd be great for him too. I mean, that would be the best thing for all of us, but I don't think it's going to happen. Disaster for Joe Biden.
Well, Trump called him out yesterday in one of those little videos that he puts out on True Social. And he was like, we need to debate and we need to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And so he basically was like, come on, let's just do this. Let's do it immediately even.
Not going to happen.
And so Joe Biden was asked about that when he was getting himself some ice cream. He was out and about and he was getting himself his treat. And reporters caught up to him and said, hey, you know, Trump's saying he wants to debate you immediately. What do you have to say to that? And here's what he had to say.
Donald Trump is ready to debate you right now. Do you accept?
Why are you laughing?
Barbara, what do you say to immediately?
Immediately?
Yes.
Will you debate him?
If I were him, I'd want to debate me too.
If I were him, I'd want to debate me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then why not just say,
And
yeah,
do
I'm
it.
doing it. We're doing it.
What kind of an answer was that?
It's this kind. It's this kind of answer.
Put him up. Put him up. Dude, he wants to debate you because you are in a decline mentally. You're there. You're like on the way down. He could just annihilate you in a debate.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want it to happen. We all want it to happen.
Oh my God. And no earpiece, because Joe Biden at press conferences, he's always got his earpiece. He's got his note cards. No, he just needs to stand there and do a debate like a normal human being.
Yeah, no teleprompter, nothing. It's just unscripted. All of them unscripted. Let's see it.
Yeah. And amazingly, I'm starting to wonder if maybe they will happen. And the only reason I say that is because Democrats now, some Democrats are starting to say, yes, Joe Biden needs to debate. And one of those was a very unlikely person, Raphael Warnock, said as much in an interview on CNN.
Be a debate between these two candidates.
Oh, I think one of the great characteristics of a democracy is that you get to see contrast. That's what elections are about. They are about a choice. And I think that you will, look, I'm not in the Biden campaign. I'm not a member of the campaign, but I think you will hear a debate. And I certainly.
I don't know why I cut off there, but
okay, so
essentially
he's saying I want them to debate. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's just not.
Really?
I just don't think
I'm
it will.
holding out a little bit of hope.
I mean, it's like if he wants contrast, you're definitely going to see a contrast if they're on a stage together. Because damn, yeah. And somebody asked, what kind of drugs would they give him this time for a debate? They'd have to they'd have to hop him up on some sort of major amphetamine to get him through that.
Well, it would be the same as they gave him for the State of the Union.
They'd
probably just double dose it, and he'd be even angrier. You know,
which would
he'd be so
awesome.
mad. And then Trump could just be like, why are you so mad?
Calm down.
Calm down.
Somebody get a cattle prod on this guy. Oh my God.
So we'll see. And then whether or not RFK is included, that's a whole other thing, right? There's still so much question about what's going on with his candidacy. You guys remember several days ago, we played a clip of him on CNN being interviewed by Aaron Burnett, who was saying, don't you think Trump is a huge threat to democracy? And he made the point, well, I could argue that actually Biden is a worse threat than Trump is. And so he retold that story on a different show and was just talking about Aaron's facial expression and that moment. And I just thought it was interesting to hear that perspective.
She asked me, do I really, don't I think Trump is very dangerous for the Republic? And I said to her, I can make an argument that President Biden is even more dangerous to the Republic. And she had this kind of astonished look where her brain stopped working.
Yeah.
And I said, the reason for that I would say that is because President Biden did something no other president in history. And a court has found it.
Yeah.
There's no court that's found that President Trump tried to steal the election or tried to derail the election or tried to start an insurrection. There may be plenty of evidence that he did that. There's no court that's found that. But there's courts that have found that President Biden was censoring his opponents. And not just me, although he did censor me, and I did win that suit, so it's not me making it up.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were censoring me not because I was promoting misinformation.
Look at him making
the
sense.
Facebook people are saying, well, actually what he's saying is factually correct.
Yeah.
They had to come up with a new word to describe my post. And the word is it's not misinformation or disinformation. It's malinformation, which is information that is factually correct, but it's nevertheless inconvenient for the government.
And you,
insane.
Again, more propaganda, more of it, and he sees it. I mean, that's where he's right. He's right on that issue. He's so right about it. And I think he's also, obviously we all know that he's right about the fact that Biden is a bigger threat to our constitutional republic. At least.
And there's court evidence to say so.
Right. Exactly. And that they have pummeled the American public with the narrative that Trump is bad. Trump is the one who incited an insurrection or an erection, depending on who you ask. If it's Rashida Tlaib or who else, it was the other chick that said
Jayapal.
Her, yeah. I mean, all these people who said that he incited an insurrection, they're out there, perpetuating that narrative. And so a lot of American people are just like, oh yeah, he did that. Propaganda. And that is misinformation. That is malinformation.
Oh my God. So ridiculous. Donkey Hody, thank you so much. He says, can we start calling him Joe Balchin now? So not Joe Manchin, but Joe Balchin.
People keep saying he's a Balchinian.
I love that.
It's so great.
John Bolton was on with Caitlin Collins. She was so excited because she felt like she got such a huge scoop from John Bolton about his plans for this election and who he's going to vote for. So here he is breaking major news on Caitlin Collins' show.
And you're going to write someone in November.
That's what I did in 2020, and I'll do it again this November.
Who did you write in 2020? You've never revealed that before.
Well, I might as well say it now. I voted for Dick Cheney.
Wow.
And I'll vote for Dick Cheney again this November.
You'll write in Dick Cheney.
That's right.
What made you write him in?
Because he was a principled Reaganite conservative, and he still is. Age is no longer a factor in American presidential politics, so his age doesn't disqualify him. And I think he'd do an immensely better job than either Trump or Biden.
What about his daughter, Liz Cheney?
Well, I like Liz a lot, and maybe someday she'll get my write-in vote too. Maybe, but right now, I'll stick with her father.
I mean, people should know that's news right now. You've never revealed who you wrote in 2020 before.
Well, I hope it sways the electorate and prevents both Trump and Biden from being the successful candidate. And if I could start a nationwide write-in campaign for Dick Cheney, maybe I should do that.
Oh my God!
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. If you put his face on a screen and ask, I don't know, 100 millennials who that guy is, they'll be like, "Is that Colonel Sanders? Who is that? Who is that guy?" They don't know.
Well,
Nobody
they would do
cares.
the same thing with Dick Cheney at this point.
Totally. Nobody knows who either of those men are. They don't know. Go away.
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
They keep calling him. They keep wanting him on the show.
Just like Avenatti. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Roxanne Holmes, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Karen Elliott, thank you. She says, another not Karen. If they do let Biden debate and he fails or falls, who is the more terrifying option? Whitmer, Newsom, or Big Mike, meaning Michelle Obama? God, they're all terrifying to me. All of them are horrifying.
Yeah, they're all really, really bad.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. I just
Can we just not think about it? Let's not think about that. Let's just move on. It's Friday.
We're just not going to think about it.
Nope.
Well, what we should think about is dogs once again.
Oh,
Think about them. Dogs. We need to talk about. Oh, wait, this isn't what I wanted to show. Although the Ruff Chews from Ruff Greens are fantastic.
They're great.
This is the stuff, you guys. This is the creation. This is a green health powder for dogs, the creation of naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who is the founder of Ruff Greens. It is a premium nutritional supplement that contains everything your dry kibble doesn't. And so this is really what brings dog food to life. And you were telling me yesterday that your dogs will not eat their dinner until they see the green powder sprinkled, until they see it sprinkled.
Especially Theo. Theo absolutely will not. He's such a spoiled brat now. And he was like the rescue dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably ate out of garbage cans. And now he's like, I'm sorry, I can't eat until you put the green powder on my food. Sorry.
Well, see, I wish I could decorate the food with the green powder on top. Unfortunately, my dogs are labs. And if you have labs, you know that they are so food driven. It is out of control. Every meal they treat it like they've not eaten in 7 years. And so now I have to put the Ruff Greens in first because they won't start eating until their actual food is on top. So I don't have time to mix it. I don't have time to sprinkle it on top. If they see dry dog food in the bowl, they are chowing down. But then after they chow down all the food, they lick all of the Ruff Greens out of their bowls, and then they lick their paws after. I don't know why, but that's always been their thing. As soon as they get done, they lick the tops of their front feet like crazy. It's so weird, but so cute. And I like it. I just like that that's like an added bonus of Ruff Greens for your dog. So you have to try it and report back if your dogs also lick their paws. I would be really, really curious. You can do this for free. If you go to ruffchicks.com, that's RUFF chicks.com. You see what they did there?
Yeah.
Ruff Chicks. You can get a free Jumpstart trial bag when you go to ruffchicks.com. So no reason not to try it. Give it a try and then report back. I want to know how many of our listeners' dogs actually lick their feet after they eat the Ruff Greens. I just think that'd be a fun little experiment, little thought process experiment.
Totally. And you guys, Dick Cheney is still alive. We checked.
Is he? How old is he?
I don't know. Oh my God, he's 400,000 years old. I will look and tell you how old he is. Hold on.
I'm just curious. I'm just super curious.
He is, how old is he? 83. Oh my God. I thought he was way older than that.
I did too.
He was born in 1941. I thought he was.
He's my dad's age. He's literally my exact dad's age.
Your dad looks so much better. I thought he was so much older than that, you guys. I was not expecting that. So.
Wow. All right. Well, there it is. I am reluctant to subject everybody to KJP, but when she's super stupid, it's kind of fun, right? Like, I mean, she's horrible. We all know she's horrible, but when she's extra stupid, it's kind of entertaining in a way. So there's two clips that I thought were extraordinarily entertaining. One where she's asked about inflation, and we talked about that a lot yesterday, and how a lot of news reporters were caught off guard in the middle of their conversations about how inflation is much better under Biden. Then they had to break the story that inflation is up again, which was glorious. And so obviously KJP was asked about this in the presser yesterday, and here is how that went.
In the Rose Garden, the president said that when he came into office, inflation was skyrocketing, but it was 1.4% in January of 2021, and that was the 11th consecutive month at that time under 2%. So was the president misleading Americans?
So when the president took office, and you know this, there was a pandemic. It was closing down businesses, closing down schools. And so it was drastically disrupting the supply chain. Let's not forget about that. And so that's what was going on. And that caused inflation around the world to increase. We know that. And then further increasing inflation was the Russia's war, Russia's war in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, the
and
war.
in fact, many
Blamed
other
on
countries
that.
are even worse off. Because of what
Right.
we've seen with Russia's war. So the president took historic action to deal with the disruption of the supply
Historic.
chain. Let's not forget what he did with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
It was a
and
disaster.
So we have made
Yeah.
progress in lowering costs. We've made progress in dealing with inflation. But that's
you
what was
haven't.
happening when we walked in. The pandemic, the disruption of the supply chain. All of these things were happening when
And you haven't solved the problem. You haven't
No,
done
it's
a
getting
damn thing
worse.
to solve the problem. Yeah. I mean, and remember when they did that, they were just blaming it on every other thing. They were just trying to figure out what can we blame this on rather than actually solve the problem or help to solve the problem. And they
Yeah.
still haven't solved it.
Yeah, they talked about the Putin price hikes, which I'm just like, seriously?
Yeah. Just deflect. This is all they do. This is what she does. And you're right about the blinking.
Oh, the flutter, like her eyes get all fluttery and weird
Yeah.
whenever she's lying, which is constantly.
Mhm.
I don't know if I wonder if anybody's told her that she has that tell. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
I
it's
don't
a
think-
pretty big tell.
I don't think so.
She was also asked, and this is where she was really on the struggle bus big time, because they just had the state dinner, and
Mhm.
apparently, the DOJ is going after Apple. They're going after like some of these big companies for monopolizing markets or what have you. But it's Biden's Department of Justice who is actually going after what's his name? What's his name from Apple?
Tim Cook?
Tim
Is it
Cook, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but at the same time as they're going after him, they're also inviting him to the state dinner.
Well, that's what I was going to ask because what's his name? Bezos was there with Lauren Sanchez
Exactly.
in her lingerie. Did you guys see that?
Oh my gosh.
That was appropriate.
Right.
So, yes, are they going after him too?
Well, I don't know if I can't remember if they're doing something specifically with Bezos, but the fact that they're sending these sort of mixed messages, like we're suing you, but also come to our big party.
We love you. Come
Right.
here.
I
Yeah.
mean, what? So a reporter, thank goodness, asked that question. They were like, so what's with the disconnect there? And she was having some problems answering this question.
But I also just want to ask about the state dinner because regulators in the Biden administration have sued both Amazon and Apple alleging anti-competitive behavior that has caused public harm. So why were executives from those companies invited to the dinner last night?
Look, when it comes to the state dinner, we invite an array of folks to come in, and obviously, it's an important night of, especially when another country comes. It shows bipartisanship. It shows the strength of that alliance that the U.S. has with that particular country. The list varies, and it's always different types of people that come to the
Department said just less than a month ago that Apple uses its control over the iPhone to engage in a broad, sustained, and illegal course of conduct, saying that lawsuit should send a strong signal to other companies.
And
what signal is the White House sending?
I hear your question. That's the Department of Justice to decide. I do not.
The White House chose to invite
I know.
to the dinner.
No, I'm not saying that the DOJ invited people to the White House state dinner. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying DOJ moved forward with that particular case, that particular legal action. I can't speak to that. We always invite an array of people. We bring people from all corners of different industries here to the White House. That's what we do, and I just don't have anything else further to share. And
She has nothing
I think
intelligent
it's
to share.
important that we do that, but I can't speak to a DOJ legal case.
The president doesn't think that those companies did anything wrong.
That is a legal action being taken by the Department of Justice. I can't speak to that. They have their reasons of moving forward on that. I can't speak to that. We invite a diverse group of people when it comes to
Oh my
events,
God,
not just
you
state
said that
dinners, when
50
it comes to
times.
events here from even different sides of the aisle. That's what this president has done. I can't speak to what DOJ and their legal action. I just can't speak to that from here. Go ahead. I don't have any intelligence to share with you.
None. No intelligence.
I will never
We're
get tired
gonna
of that
play
clip,
that on,
ever.
It's on a loop. We're going to have that on a loop.
I'm never
Oh,
getting rid of it. Like anytime
No.
we ever play her ever, that's going
Every
to be the
time.
end of it.
Yeah. How is she still on that job?
I don't.
Is it because after her, nobody wants it? Like they're just like, I can't do it because I cannot defend this horrible, inept administration. Who's going to do it? I mean, she's the only person at this point that's willing to do it. And I don't
They should have John Kirby do it because, like, I know he just does it for the State Department. He should really be in charge of all the communications because he's at least smarter than she is.
Right. A little bit, just a little bit smarter. And he is good at talking in circles and bullshitting. He is really good at the bullshit. But still, like, I don't know how she is still doing this job.
I know. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
It's awful to watch. It's really painful.
Lori Weens, thank you so much. Lori says, I'm finally getting Ruff Greens from my Chihuahua, Donovan. We'll report back on if and how he takes to it. Also, my cold, hardy avocado has lost a few leaves, but doing well so far. Doing well so far? Hopefully that is doing well so far. Okay. And I'm assuming that the cold, hardy avocado is from Fast Growing Trees.
I bet. Yeah. They have one.
I'm so excited that she's going to try Ruff Greens. We need to know if the little Chihuahua licks his little feet. Because I'm very curious about that. Or if it's just like my labs have this weird habit, because I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. Okay, moving on to another idiotic person in the Democrat Party, and that is Rashida Tlaib. So Peter Doocy's wife, Hillary Vaughn, who's also a journalist, she ran into Rashida Tlaib and wanted to ask if Rashida condemns some of the craziness that's coming out of her district in Michigan, where people are calling for the death to America. American citizens are openly, happily, joyfully saying death to America. It seems like that should be a pretty no-brainer thing to be able to easily say, of course I condemn that. That's it. That's all she has to say.
You would think.
But no, instead, she goes on a tear against Fox News.
Congresswoman Tlaib.
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
I don't talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
So that's
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death to America? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
Oh, okay, so it's Islamophobic to call out people saying death to America. That's Islamophobic now? I'm confused. That's racist. On the flip side, is it okay for people on our side of the aisle to say, I don't talk to CNN, I don't talk to MSNBC, I don't talk to CBS, I don't talk to any of these basically all the other media outlets. I just only talk to Fox. You know, is that what we're gonna do? Because
especially if you're a member of Congress. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Judge Janine made a really good point about that, where she was saying if Rashida Tlaib actually really cared about this cause, the Palestinian cause, she would absolutely use every opportunity to get platformed to talk about that cause, every opportunity, whether it's Fox or anybody else. But because she takes this attitude, she clearly doesn't really care. She's a virtue signaling hag. That's it. Period.
Yeah. She also hates Israel.
Clearly.
You know?
I mean, because this is not a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
And this isn't even about Israel. It's about America. It's about the country she represents.
Touche. She hates America. You're absolutely right. And I don't know how these chicks get into office. I just don't understand it. This is insane. Furthermore, if somebody says death to America, GTFO.
Yeah.
Like,
get out.
How is this hard? How did we end up here? How did we end up in a place where we're like, oh no, that's like, I mean, it's so okay for people to say death to America. Listen, I understand free speech. I get it. But when you have a bunch of people in our country screaming death to America, I feel like that's a problem.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't remember that ever happening when I was growing up. And now it's happening far too often. It's a problem, you guys.
It is. It's awful. I mean, and it's a direct result of like how indoctrinated all of our kids have become.
And an open border.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. Speaking of Israel, Dov Hikind did a really nice speech at a Republican event where he was talking about, this ridiculous idea of calling for Israel to do a ceasefire when they're the ones that have been attacked. This is just kind of like a rallying. I like the end of it because it's like a rallying cry. It was some positive go Israel talk, and I thought it was important to share it.
Now, all of us, we have watched the battles unfold. hospitals in Gaza. Every single hospital in Gaza is used by Hamas. They have underground facilities. They keep all kinds of weapons in the hospital. Can you imagine your local hospital here? Grenades, machine guns, bombs, you name it, everything in the world. Every single hospital without exception used as a terror base by Hamas. Mosques, schools, the civilian population. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, what in God's name is Israel supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? You can't, you can't attack, you can't do that. What are you talking about? Israel, I can tell you right now, will eradicate Hamas in the coming weeks.
Love it.
Yeah, I do
Love
too.
it.
And that's the thing. It's like when he says, what are they supposed to do? Well, people just expect them to take it.
Yeah. Until they're gone, until they've been
Right.
destructed, until they're completely eradicated. Well,
Yeah.
that's not an option.
Right. What is it
This
that
is their only place.
the numbers, what is it, like 16 million Jews? Is it 60? There are 16,
Something like that.
16 million Jews. How many people that practice Islam? What is it, like a billion? Is
Oh
that
my
right?
God. At
Like one-
least. Oh my God.
At
so
least
many
there's more than a billion. Just keep those
yeah.
numbers in mind. How many Jews were killed during the Holocaust? 6 million, right? There's only 16 million now. I mean, just think about the numbers, you guys.
And think about all the countries that have expelled them.
Yeah.
This is their only place. This is the only place that is their home.
Yeah.
And all of these psychopaths will not rest until they are gone.
Until they're
So
gone.
of course they're going to fight back.
Yeah.
It's all they can do. And everybody should be in support of that.
Yeah, Bob, I'm sorry. 1.6 billion. Yeah, I stand corrected. 1.6 billion. I undershot that number. Yeah. So I kind of feel like they can fight back if they want to fight back. And they're just pissed that they're winning.
Yeah, and if they don't want all these civilian casualties, then stop embedding terrorists in civilian locations.
Or
This is not hard.
Or maybe stop attacking them during a ceasefire, which there was a ceasefire on October 6th. So don't go in there, rape their women, attack them, murder people, and put their babies in ovens. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
There's a thought.
For those folks who follow Lily Ebert, who is a Holocaust survivor, and her TikTok account is run by, I think it's her grandson, if I'm not mistaken. And so he posted this adorable picture on Twitter yesterday. It's his great grandma, Lily Ebert. She is 100 years old. She survived Auschwitz, and she just became a great grandma. And she said, "I never expected to survive the Holocaust. Now I have 5 beautiful generations. The Nazis did not win."
I love that.
Isn't that great? And he said,
Yeah.
from near death at Auschwitz to 5 generations of Jewish life.
It's fantastic. That's the human spirit winning.
Isn't
right
that
there.
just the best picture
so
ever?
fantastic? So awesome.
Love that. Okay, moving on. So you know that we've still got a lot of months between now and the election. And so we're probably going to do, who knows what we're going to deal with on Monday. We're also going to be dealing with all kinds of new scares. The government's going to want to, stoke fear as much as possible. And so you've probably heard some humming and some chatter about bird flu, right? Like there's this new bird flu that's happened to humans. Everybody needs to be super scared about
new
it.
bird flu.
The new bird flu.
It's like the recycled bird flu is what it is. I mean, we've seen this before, right? Come on.
You'd think they'd come up with a new animal or something.
I know,
'cause
right?
We had monkeypox. We've
I
had
know.
swine flu.
There's been swine flu. Like come up with at least be like creative and make it like the giraffe flu.
Right. Like why will they just
I
not
know.
do that? So nope, they're reverting to bird flu, and this guy has a lot to say about it, and I think he speaks for us all.
Really? Nah, bro. We not doing it again. We're not doing this again. Really, bruh? COVID, Ebola, swine flu, bird flu. Like, nah, we really have to talk about the fact that these motherfuckers are so lazy that they had to spin the block with a disease that they already tried using before.
So true.
I'm tired of it. We're not doing this anymore. Like the last few decades has really been a disease smorgasbord of bullshit. Good evening, sir. Would you be having the swine flu, the Ebola, or the COVID? And if you do opt in for the COVID, would you like the Alpha variant, the Omicron variant, or the anti-disestablishmentarianism variant? All of them are truly fantastic choices. Really, you can't go wrong. We're tired of it. We're not taking any more fucking vaccines, okay? We're not staying inside. We're not giving up our summers. We're not giving up our graduations. We're not giving up our proms. We're not giving up our sports. Fuck you. We're done. You can keep your bird flu. I don't care if it's Big Bird, Twitty Bird, Flipping the Bird. We're not having it. Go ahead and leave it over there, because it ain't happening here.
Oh my God. I could not have said it better. Guys, awesome. He speaks for me. I don't know about you guys, but that guy speaks for me. All of it. Everything that he said is exactly what I want to say. Yeah.
I know. So,
it's like, it's an election.
On the nose.
It's an election year. Who saw this coming? Raise your hand. Hello.
Lisa Exline and C. Douglas, thank you so very much for the super stickers. Appreciate that. Also, the World Health Organization and that guy that leads it, who's really hard to understand. I don't remember his name. What's his name? Like Tetrov or something like that?
I don't know his name, but I know his face, and I don't like it.
You'll know his face. I know.
I don't like any of it. It's not
a good face. He, too, is now, because in addition to like whatever flu they want to get everybody scared about, they also want us to continually be scared about the climate. Climate change is so scary.
Terrified of the weather, you guys.
And now all of this, all these countries that buy into the WEF and to WHO, they're all now super scared of climate change, to the point where they are saying we need to really, really hit hard the food production industry and get everybody on a plant diet. They can suck it, but here's what he's saying.
Our food systems are harming the health of people and planet.
No.
Food systems contribute to over 30% of greenhouse gas emissions and account for almost 1/3 of the global burden of disease. Transforming food systems is therefore essential by shifting towards healthier, diversified, and more plant-based diets.
No.
Nope.
If food systems delivered healthy diets for all, we could save 8 million lives per year. WHO is committed to supporting countries to develop and implement policies to improve diets and fight climate change. I'm therefore very pleased that over 130 countries have signed the COP28 UAE Declaration on Climate and Health.
Oh my God. That
I'm not
just
doing
makes
that.
me so mad.
I'm not doing that. And they better listen. And who elected this guy and put him in charge of my diet? Who did that? I didn't do it. Did you guys elect this guy? Because I didn't elect him. So take all the seats, dude? Seriously. This is where I get so, as you would say, bajiggity.
Mm-hmm. And as Trump as president would never agree to sign off on something like this, which is another reason that he is an important.
Because he likes meat. Because he's normal.
Who doesn't like meat? Come on.
Gosh.
Connie Cannell, thank you so much. Connie says, don't forget about the killer bees. That's right. The killer bees. And what were the big giant monster wasps or something? Or like monster bees?
Oh gosh. That's
murder
right.
The murder hornets. Yes.
Yeah.
The murder hornets.
That was a crazy thing on our dance card, right? We were like, what's this? A murder hornet?
Connie said, love you, chick snobs.
Yeah. Such chick snobs.
Thank you so much. This, as we get closer to the end of the show, we always just sort of have a mishmashery of things to share. And this little grouping is no exception. There's a digital app for youngsters, like super youngsters, called Pok Pok. And perhaps if you have young kids, you've heard of this. Apparently, the visuals in this app include a lot of rainbows and a lot of like pro LGBTQ kind of stuff.
Not the rainbows that we grew up with.
No, this is very much trying to send a message.
It's been hijacked. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've gotten some backlash about that. And so I don't know who this woman is specifically in POC, whether she's the head honcho or just somebody that works for them, but she's responding to the backlash in a very snarky way. So if POC is something that you've ever explored for kids or grandkids, please take it off your list. You'll see this video and you'll understand why.
And health.
We often get comments about our hidden agenda, and it's something we feel we need to correct because we're actually very proud of our agenda of inclusivity. So if people feel it's hidden, maybe we're not trying hard enough, you know? So our developers came up with a solution. They've created a system where every time we get a comment like this, a rainbow will be added to POC. Hope you like color. More details below.
She needs to go to a speech therapist. Just pointing that out.
I wasn't going to say it.
I did. Well, you know, I say all the things. If that makes people mad, I'm really sorry. But that's why you're here, right? Chin balls.
Anyway, take POC off of your list of apps.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, because that's just shitty. Mm-hmm. Here's something that's kind of glorious. David Hogg, who is just the most insufferable of insufferables. Oh my God. And by the way, his organization, his gun control organization, now he's being accused of using a bunch of money irresponsibly. Surprise.
Yeah. And that's a dude that needs to eat some meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Just pointing it out.
Arms. God. I mean, he's got such
I will
skinny
never
little...
unsee that. I won't. Hello, folks.
He had... Well, he got schooled about 2A. I'm not sure the location of this, but there's a woman in the crowd. She's a Chinese immigrant who escaped communism, and she had some things to say to David Hogg, and it is a thing of beauty.
My name is Lily Tan Williams. Welcome to my live free or die state. Actually, I am a Chinese immigrant who survived communism. And under Mao, 40 million people were starving to death after he sold communism to them. And 20 million people died, murdered during his Cultural Revolution. So my question to you, David, is that can you guarantee me, a gun owner tonight, our government in the US, in DC, will never become a tyrannical government?
Yes, David.
Can you guarantee that to me?
There's no way I can ever guarantee that any government will not be tyrannical.
Well, then the debate on gun control is over because I will never give up my guns. Never, never. And you should go to China to see how gun control works for dictatorship of CCP.
And he laughs at her. Did you hear him? Did you hear him laughing at her? What a piece of crap that kid is. Just laughs in her face. And he's like, what's communism?
I didn't learn that at Harvard.
I didn't. Exactly. They don't teach that class.
Right. Unless it's how to do it, right? That's what they teach there.
And how to implement it. Yeah. We're all commies here in Cambridge. Yeah.
There's another video that went really, really viral. A guy on TikTok who's been speaking out about how hard it is for 20-somethings to fulfill the American dream at this point in this economy, in Bidenomics. It's impossible because of prices being so high, because of inflation, because of housing. It's just become the dream is out of reach, unfortunately, for a lot of kids in this generation. And I liked the way that he spoke about it because he's talking about it not just this is Democrats' fault. He's actually saying this is a uniparty problem because when Republicans have power, they also spend all the money. You know what I mean? Like nothing changes, and his frustration is palpable. Yeah. And I think it's just I empathized with him so much about this, and I've started binging a lot of his other videos. So you'll see his little, his little username. I'd encourage you to follow him and check his other stuff out because he's a good follower.
He explained to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage, and I cannot afford to live. And I do not want to hear the pull yourself up from your bootstraps, work 90 hours a week. That's not the goal, guys. That should not be our standard. I am so fucking tired of people being complacent with this uniparty, both of them fucking us over. When my parents were my age, they both made less than half of what I make, and they lived alone. I cannot afford to live anywhere alone. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. 2-bedroom apartment, $2,200. Who the fuck can afford that? It is embarrassing to come out and say that it is a struggle to survive right now, but I know so many people are struggling. And do not get me started on what my grandparents were doing. They $3,000 house. And yes, I understand inflation and all of the bullshit that they have been pulling with the Fed. Why are we allowing it? Why? And then I clock out of my shift. I am tired. I have to go home. And I check the news. Another 60 fucking billion to a country nobody can point out on a map. What are we doing? Where has the plot gone? We have lost it, folks. We have fucking lost it. The American dream is dead. It is over. Gone and
forgotten.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not.
He's not
Just,
wrong. A lot. I mean, I have so many thoughts on so many things. Like, young people have put a lot of these policies in place.
Right.
A lot of young people. So I get really, I get so irritated about that, you know, because they don't get it until it's too late, and then they're living it, and then they're like, crap, I don't like the crap that I've put myself in. So then they're in it. But then on top of that, he's right about, like, man, rent. $1,800, $2,200, $2,500. I mean, then you go to California, it's $4,000 for an apartment. You guys, what is that? Like, what? I mean, I have kids who live in California in an apartment. So, I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So he's not wrong about things being crazy expensive and how it is unlivable in this country for so many people. It's just crazy. And it's not just young people. I have a mother who is considered, I guess she's considered elderly. I don't really see her as elderly. She's going to be 80 this year. It's hard for her. She can't move here because her mortgage is so low right now.
Yeah.
That if she moved, she's like, I'd love to come there and live near you and get an apartment, but apartments are that price. I can't do it. I can't afford it. And she's on a very fixed income. It's not just young people, it's elderly people who are on fixed incomes, right? I mean, so everybody is
and they're
feeling
locked
it.
into those cheap mortgage rates from the before times.
They're locked. Yeah, they're locked into a lot of things because they have healthcare to pay for. They have. I mean, we're all feeling it. We're all feeling it. It's not. I don't think it's just young people. We're feeling it. My family feels it. I mean, every time I go to the grocery store, every time we have to pay for college, we've got. I mean, everything sucks right now. It sucks. And so, how do you solve it? I do think that there is a element of the uniparty. I don't, do I think that conservatives are helping us? They may not be, like, I don't know, actively pursuing me and saying, Daisy, I want to help you. I mean, I want to help your family. But I do think they're better. I do think the policies are better on our side of the aisle than on the left side of the aisle. I do think that the whole notion of limited government and, get them out of there and lower taxes are better than the left. I mean, who wants to, like, spread everybody's wealth around and give all this money to Ukraine, and give money to everybody else, but the people that are actually making and putting money into the system. So, I mean, policy, man, it's all about policy. We got to get the right policies. We got to clean house and put the right policies in place.
We really do. And he also did another video too about the student loan stuff. And he talked about the expense of college and just the amount that it has, the percentage amount, like, that people pay. It is so insane what everybody pays for college now. And you're not getting anything from it.
No,
you're not getting what you used to get.
Right.
And it's all so corrupt and so far gone. That's the problem, is that I wonder, is this anything that we can even come back from? I hope it is, man. I hope it is. But, like, a lot of it, I hear him saying, why are we putting up with this? Well, what we're trying not to, right? Like, we're trying to get the word out for people to vote correctly.
Right.
But I don't know what else we can do,
But it's hard to combat. And you and I have done it for 15 years. It's hard to combat the ice cream party with the broccoli mentality.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we have to cut. You got to start slashing. You got to do a spend analysis and start literally cutting fat everywhere. When young people especially are faced with, you have to sacrifice a little to, because they want the free stuff, because that's what the Democrats promised them. They promised them free shit all the time.
Yeah, they just forgave a bunch more student loans.
Right. Forgave a bunch more student loans. So they see that and they think, oh my gosh, I get free stuff with these people. They're going to give me all the things. They're going to take care of me. They're going to give me all the things. That's what they think, right? But our side of the aisle is you do have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You have to have personal responsibility. You have to have some skin in the game, and we're going to cut things and then it'll end up like in the long game is it'll benefit everybody, because that's the way America was founded. That's what our founders wanted, is less government intervention, less of all of that, and more individual. Right. Yeah. But they don't want to hear that, because it literally is ice cream versus broccoli, and they want the ice cream immediately. Yeah. Look at Joe Biden. He gets ice cream every single day. He's literally a walking example of that.
Curio23 says he did not buy his first house until he was 49. And that I'm sure that's true for a lot of people.
So many people.
I got my first house when I was 26. But you know what I mean? Like but there's no way that I could do that now. There's absolutely no way.
No.
That was the point that he was making, is that what used to be something that was easy to aspire to, easy to obtain, it's out of the reach of so many more people than it used to be. That's the thing. Do we want to do DD first, or do we want to do our little flashback first?
We could do DD really quick first. Get that out of the way. This is from Christmas, you guys, and I just loved it. I thought it was really sweet. It's a grandpa and some of you may have seen it, but it's a grandpa giving his gift to his many, many grandchildren, and I just loved it. So 11 grandchildren. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. It's Crocs. We gave them all Crocs. And then there's something extra.
Yo, this is sick.
I want to do this.
They're used to cars.
I love this so much. It's a picture of him. Oh my God. Have you guys ever seen the gibbets or whatever that you put on Crocs? Oh my God, I just love him. They're dying.
Oh my God. They will keep those forever.
I just love them so much. So, because we talked about heirlooms. That's like the greatest heirloom ever, right? So,
oh my God.
If you guys know anything about Crocs, which I absolutely have hated Crocs like my entire existence, ever since they came out. But my daughter is a swimmer, and so everybody has Crocs when you're a swimmer. Anyway, she gets those gibbets, I think is what they're called. They're like little charms that you put on your Crocs. And so I'm like, I have to do this. I have to do this for all the kids. I have to get them all ugly Crocs and then get a picture of myself and give them to the kids. So great, you guys. What a great idea. What a cute grandpa. And you can tell all 11 grandchildren just adore him. And that is
so neat.
That is the best thing ever, right?
Okay, so before we do TikToks, have a little surprise, a Friday surprise, because it seemed like people really enjoyed some of our old flashback videos that we did in radio, and so we've got some of our best blooper reel moments to share with everybody. And this one it's a meaty one because we messed up a lot. Okay. We messed up a lot, and we also had a lot of fun behind the scenes. And so I thought maybe everybody would enjoy this
Friday fodder. Yeah.
Down memory lane. And I apologize in advance for some of my fashion choices back in the day. Because they were
She wore some hats. She wore some hats.
I had hats and scarves, and I was
We dressed up. We dressed up for our radio gig. We dressed up every day, as opposed to what we do now. We used to dress up. Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
A request. Whenever we screw something up, we're like, and we make all sorts of mistakes.
Yes.
Save all that footage.
Yes.
I'd like to do a video that's just like a blooper reel.
What is it called?
The blooper reel.
Ready. Here we go.
Okay. Are we rolling right now?
Yep, we're rolling.
We are rolling.
Merry Christmas. Wait.
Yes.
Where am I looking?
Which camera?
Where am I looking? Okay.
Please don't ever play this for anybody.
Okay.
Very funny this morning. Very, very funny.
Okay.
I totally forgot the line. I'm sorry, I totally forgot my line.
All right, let me try it again. Sorry. What am I saying?
Hang on,
this is really hard.
I can't get that line. I'm having a brain fart.
She's screaming at me. Actually, that was my line.
Oh,
yeah. It was judgment on other. This is going to be a good one this week. We're going to be in here for 2 hours. I'm sorry. How do people do acting?
I know, they memorize whole scripts. And they don't have to write it.
Right.
And they look good. And they get to make out with George Clooney. Hello!
To be fair,
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
My master's degree did not prepare me for this. I know. Okay, lipstick on the teeth. Okay, good.
Good.
Yours are good.
Okay.
They're so white.
Really?
Yeah.
I need
my eyes. I'm getting pity.
I can't see it.
Okay.
All right. I can see your zit, though. I'm just kidding.
Are you serious?
Totally kidding. I just know it's bugging you.
If you
totally kidding. I see what you're saying.
Okay, hold on. I need vodka. It's water. That's so blasphemous. You guys have no idea. I poured out Sky vodka and I put water in a vodka bottle. I was like,
this morning.
She's so sparkly, fuzzy. I have no idea what this is going to be like. Don't they know that we're divas? And it's like, Reagan, on your wedding day first.
Let me talk us off. Yeah.
Oh, cried out.
Then there's gonna be dun, 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 dun.
I'm so glad we've had this time together.
Okay, so
I'm done. We're done. Is that it?
Look at that. We went through that whole thing.
Pretty quick.
That's a wrap.
We forgot how to video. We forgot. We can't do it anymore.
Fed into the next blooper reel. Okay, just checking.
Ready? Okay. Are you guys ready for this jelly?
Ready.
Should we say that?
There's more. I can't believe there's
Are
more.
we going? Okay.
In a world.
In a world. America. Yeah.
All right.
We believe the answer to that question is we don't know what the hell. I don't know what the answer. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Why?
Wait, I wasn't ready.
This week. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, she has a special
I'm sorry,
leather.
Starting.
You want me to start? Why do you got to be so condescending and act like those aren't lines? Because those are really lines. It's going to take a really long time for me to memorize rolling my eyes. Why you gotta be so mean? They're not baby lines. They're hard.
You don't know.
You don't know what we go through.
She's so strict.
She really is.
Whoops.
Whoop-pow! No, Naomi. Naomi. I don't give a crap what you say. I don't care. You can just go.
Then I sound like ISIS. And let's not forget Jen. Wait, what is it? Jen McGiant Necklace Passaic. I should know this. I made this name.
This is your name. This is you. This is all you.
Okay.
Yeah, we nailed that.
No, that was so good.
Ah, jeez. I know you can do this. I know you can. Okay. But music will be playing in the background. We just can't hear it right now. We're just gonna pretend we can hear it. She's gonna have the music play. So pre-order your book today for the party on November the 12th.
I can't. I don't think I can do it.
Why not? Do that, which is why I kind of hesitated.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. We're Canada. Sorry. We're being Canada right now. Sorry. No, we have to go. Sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Sorry, eh?
Okay.
So we may have to read some of these and be like, Dufuke? Dufuke. Come on, do it. Say your line. Say your line. Say your line. Do it.
I can't do it.
Say it. Say it.
Oh my God. I can't. What was like? You made fun of your clothes, but I was like, what was me? I was wearing leather, like in that one shot. What was I thinking? Was I a biker chick? What was I doing?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was
Okay.
a trip
That
down
was
the
fun.
memory lane.
That was super fun. God, we were so young and supple.
And thin. I was so thin.
So thin and supple. Remember?
Remember
Before
the days?
menopause? Such good times.
Lori Weens, thank you. Lori says, I bought my house. Okay, she corrected it because she's using Siri. I'm trying to understand this. She says, I bought my house, my 4-bedroom house, on 0.24 acres here in Lewisburg, Tennessee, until when I was 51. I got it for $155,000. No houses in the area in that price range anymore. No, I mean, like a cheap house right now is $300,000.
Right. You can't buy a house for $150,000 now. This is the thing. It's insanity. Yeah, you just can't. And crappy houses are $400,000.
Yeah.
Crappy ones.
Yeah.
It's not
out of control. It's out of control. I just feel so bad for like the up and comers.
I know. They can't. This is the thing. They can't. They can't. It's hard. It's hard for everybody. It's not just young people. It's everybody. All of us. All of us.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's time for some My Pillow Talks. I do have some really good ones for you today. Do you remember when we played with the giraffes when I came to visit?
Yeah. It's like,
and it looks like there's a video where this guy is he's like with a giraffe and it looks just like the place that we were.
It does.
It's so crazy. And I wanted to tell you, because I can't remember if I told you guys this or not, but I'm taking Ella to a chiropractor.
Oh my gosh. You didn't tell me that.
Did I not tell you that?
Okay. Is that what this place is? Is it a chiropractor? What is it?
Yes. This guy is giving chiropractic services to a giraffe and it loves this. Watch.
Could you imagine being a giraffe chiropractor? How do you get that job?
I don't know. He loves it though.
He's like, oh, thank you. I need more. Oh, what a sweetheart. They are so sweet. Oh my God, he's so sweet. They remind me of giant Great Danes.
They're just the sweetest, aren't they?
They are.
I made, when Ella had her incident, some weeks ago.
Right.
I read online that chiropractic treatment could be helpful for older dogs. And so I made her an appointment. And so I'm taking her I think it's in a couple weeks. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear how that goes.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I've never done it before. I don't know what they're going to do to her. It's just a one-off. And then if she likes it, if we like it, then I'll continue to take her if I need to. But yeah, I'm doing that. So I will report back on that for sure. I know that it's probably a pain to have like a super needy dog, like a needy dog that always needs to be on you, but it's also so cute, you guys. Look at this.
So I'm house sitting at the moment for Nova. And
it's not even her dog.
And Nova is a rescue.
Oh my God.
And the cutest but neediest dog. And if I just sit here and don't give her attention.
Oh, God. Bless her little heart. Look at her little black butt. She's so cute.
So cute.
Oh my goodness.
She just won't. And if I try and give Alfie attention, she just absolutely will not have it. Will you?
She is just the most precious. She's a Dalmatian, right?
Yeah, those ears, man. Look at how snuggly.
What a sweet, sweet girl.
I
love dogs like that. Needy dogs are the best dogs.
Is this what it's like?
I mean, it'd be impossible to get anything done, but like, I love that.
That's the greatest.
I love that. Also, someone taught their golden retriever how to sound like a cow, and it will do it on command. This is awesome.
Okay.
What does the cow say? What does the cow say? What does the cow say?
What a good boy.
So sweet.
You know how there's like a fight, like a fake fight between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman?
Yes.
They've been carrying this on forever and they're hilarious, right? Like they pretend they hate each other. They clearly don't, but they pretend that they do. And there's this guy whose videos we've shown before, who's a comedian who's hilarious. He ended up getting stitched. One of his videos got stitched with Ryan Reynolds. And so it was like that's a big deal, right? When somebody's hugely famous, like Ryan Reynolds stitches you. He was rightly like, holy crap, like I got stitched, but he made a response video to it that I just adore.
Yeah, I know. Ryan Reynolds stitched a video about me. I'm well aware. I've been trying to avoid talking about it because it's a little bit awkward. Ryan and I go way back. I met him playing squash in high school. I went to his wedding. He went to mine. I'm the godparent to one of his kids, okay? We're way tight bros from way back when. But I don't like to make a big deal about it. But this video has put me in a very awkward situation because I love Ryan, but he used my video to attack Hugh Jackman. And Hugh and I go way back. We met playing High Lie in college. I was at his wedding. He was at mine. I'm the godfather to one of his boats. And I don't want to be in the middle of this beef. I don't want to be part of these two men who I care about so deeply attacking each other. But I realize now I can't stay silent. I need to speak up because I am in a unique position to help. As someone who knows both of you for so long, I think I'm the right person to broker peace. I know this has been hard on both of you. So just tell me where you want us to meet. It can be VIP tickets to one of your upcoming premieres. You know, it could be at a box seat to a Wrexham game. I'd be happy to meet you on one of your yachts. Or if you just want to keep it simple, maybe talk on the phone. You could set me up with a year or two of free Mint Mobile. I just want to see you both happy.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Isn't that the greatest?
Yeah.
I just thought that was
the
so
box
cute.
seats. The box seats would be a bonus.
All right. We have to talk about OJ.
We got to talk about OJ. The juice.
The juice is no longer with us. The family released a statement through his official Twitter account saying on April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his kids and grandkids during this time of transition. His family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. So that was the official announcement. And I was not expecting, I'll be honest, I was not expecting the memes to hit so quickly and so hard.
I was, because the guy murdered his wife. His
True.
Murdered his wife and her friend. I mean, and he got away with it. So I kind of was expecting the memes.
The memes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I was.
And we'll get to some of those and we'll get to some of the reaction. But first, back in February, so he died of cancer in hospice. Okay. That should be pointed out. That becomes important when you watch this video that OJ himself posted in mid-February saying, hospice? What are you talking about?
Hey, X-World. Hospice? Hospice? You talking about hospice? No, I'm not in any hospice. I don't know who put that out there, but whoever put that out there, I guess is like the Donald saying, can't trust the media. In any event, I'm hosting a ton of friends for the Super Bowl here in Las Vegas. And all is well, you know? So, hey, guys, take care. Have a good Super Bowl weekend.
Wow, he was a liar to the bitter end, right?
Right? Like, what was that?
I'm not shocked at all by that. The guy was a manipulator and a liar. And also a murderer.
So, got away with it.
Got away with it.
Yeah.
Right. And he wrote a book about how, I mean, basically wrote a book. What was it, in 2004? About how he got, I mean,
if I would have done it, this is what it would have looked like.
Right. I mean, come on, this guy. Yeah. And he lived on $400,000 a year of a pension that the families of the victims never got like a penny of that. He lived high on the hog in Florida after he got out of prison, which he didn't serve nearly enough time in prison, obviously, because he did other things. But I mean, this guy is a complete loser.
A complete loser.
I'm sorry, was a complete loser and a wife abuser. And I just have no time for people like him. And the whole thing was just gross what happened. We saw it. We lived through that time. And it was it all became about race, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Well, and we'll get to some of that too. There was a very interesting misprint. I don't even want to call it a misprint because this is so unbelievable. So the LA Times did a story, obviously, about OJ and his whole past, as they do when anybody dies. But there was this, you'll see it in the highlighting. It says, long before the city woke up on a fall morning in 2017, Trump walked out of Lovelock Correctional Center outside Reno. Why would this be? What on earth would make that be the error? Do you know what I mean? Like in an OJ obituary, how does LA Times accidentally say it was Trump that walked out of jail?
Oh my God. That is just inexcusable and disgusting. That is so gross.
Yeah.
So
I was
gross.
stunned by that.
I'm assuming that they they fixed that immediately.
I don't even know. I didn't even check because at that point I was like, the LA Times. I mean, this is just
trash.
It's just
total
garbage.
trash.
Absolute garbage.
Gross.
And then there was, because you mentioned the racial element. This was a really interesting thing from Mark Lamont. Sorry, you're seeing some of these.
That was really funny.
I know. Mark Lamont Hill said O.J. Simpson was an abusive liar who abandoned his community long before he killed 2 people in cold blood. All that's great. But then he said his acquittal for murder was the correct and necessary result of a racist criminal legal system, but he's still a monster, not a martyr.
What
in the world?
Anybody who believes that, you're like, what is wrong with you?
Oh
what is
my
wrong with you?
God.
There were 2 innocent people who were murdered. And there was no justice for that. Like, put aside your racism and your issues and think about those 2 poor people. That woman, what was it? They had 86, I think during the trial, there were 86 counts that were brought up of him abusing her. And then he killed her. He almost decapitated her. That's how hard he killed her. Right.
And this guy is like, but that's okay because we've had this racist system. What it's insane thing to say.
What a horrible take.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for you and the way that you feel about things, but that there was no justice for these people. And I feel so bad for their families.
Well, I hope that they continue to go after his estate for everything that's in it.
They got nothing. They were owed $100 million by that guy, and they didn't get anything. Because it was like the NFL pension or something they couldn't get any, which is in Florida's laws they weren't able to get anything out of it. So, I mean, that family both the families got screwed.
I would hope that his estate will be handled differently and that they will be absolutely entitled to a good portion of it because I don't know how you can protect that. You know what I mean?
I really, really hope so.
Oh my God. All right, let's get to some memes. You saw the Babylon Bee obviously right out of the gate. O.J. Simpson excited for God to tell him who the real killer was.
I mean...
Oh my God. And then there was the Joe Biden press parody account that said, I just learned O.J. Simpson's initials stand for O Murder, Jamurder.
Oh my God. It's just,
I mean,
we all know. Everybody knows.
Yeah. And if they don't do this for his funeral, it's a missed opportunity.
Right.
For sure.
It's an absolutely
they
missed
have
opportunity.
To have it look like this.
You guys, I looked at my husband yesterday. I'm like, do you remember where you were when that went down? I mean, if you were somebody if you're in our age group, you remember where you were when this happened.
Yeah.
You remember where you were when that happened, and you remember when you were when the verdict came in.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's some other ones. I think that there are. Yes. Breaking. Cancer that allegedly killed O.J. Simpson pleads not guilty, hires controversial criminal defense lawyer.
Oh my God. And that's another thing. Robert Kardashian, I thought it was very interesting because obviously he represented him and the Kardashians became a thing. Now we see those kids. Yeah. His kids all the time. They're like shoving our faces 24/7, right? But Robert Kardashian, when the verdict was read, if you just look at his face, you could, because by the end of the trial, he was like, this dude is guilty as sin. And you can tell he had such regret even representing this piece of crap. So when they delivered the verdict, just look at Robert Kardashian's face. If you've never done it, which a lot of us have seen that video a million times, but he was so distraught and disappointed in that moment. It's just crazy looking at his face. And that is his lawyer.
Yeah.
You know?
Satan apparently has a Twitter account. So this is what Satan tweeted. O.J. Simpson just arrived down here. WTF.
Oh my God. I'm loving the memes.
Now OJ can rest knowing that his wife's killer is dead.
Exactly. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Let me see if there's any more.
In case.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this is a video. Was this Oprah?
I think it was Oprah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they were playing the verdict live,
Mhm.
and this just shows you the reaction of the crowd and how mixed it is.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of where I was when the verdict was read, which was at a company retreat with my HR team at my Black boss's house. Many of my colleagues were Black, and there were a few straggler white people. Me and these two other white guys were part of a much larger team that had mostly Black
Right.
women.
Yeah.
And when the verdict was read, the three of us white people sat there in stunned disbelief.
Mhm.
Everybody else was cheering, and
Yeah,
it was
I
the
would-
weirdest thing ever.
I had a similar. Mine was similar. I worked. I grew up and I went to University of Tennessee, but then I came back to Atlanta to work in one of my. It was probably my second job, and I was at lunch when the verdict came in, and I was in a restaurant in Atlanta with probably half Black people, half white people. And I think that it was kind of the same thing where all the Black people in the restaurant were cheering for the verdict.
Mhm.
And most of the white people were just like, wait, what just happened? I mean, he killed his wife. Like, what,
Yeah.
why are we cheering? What are we doing? Like, what's happening? So it was very divided on racial lines, which is absurd. Completely absurd. I just remember thinking how weird it was because I'm like, he
Mhm.
beat his white. It's obvious what he did. Like, why are we excited about this? I couldn't believe it.
Well, here's the crowd reacting on Oprah. And again, it's a very mixed reaction.
Number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the
Wow.
Yeah. And it was during the time of Rodney King, and there was some, there were issues going on. There was some stuff happening in our country, but still, I was just like, what? This is completely nuts. And it also, at that time, I was in my 20s, and I remember thinking, you can't get a fair trial. Like, like the justice system is kind of whack. Like I up to that point, I think I thought that, if you go through and you have a trial, and if you are accused of something, you're going to get a fair trial. Like, but then I thought this guy has privilege because he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
And so if some people get a fair trial and some people don't. And if you're a celebrity, you're going to be treated differently. Or if you have money, you're going to be treated differently. And that was a wake-up call for me as a 20-something.
Well, and it was also one of the first trials, at least that I can remember, that the case was also tried in public. Like the public played a role in that. And
Totally.
and now, later we find out from members of that jury that they did it because they were just getting even for Black injustice,
Totally.
which is absolutely insane. Here's one of the jurors.
Do you think that they're members of the jury that voted to acquit OJ because of Rodney King?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
How many of you think felt that way?
Oh, probably 90% of them.
Wow.
90%? Did you feel that way?
Yes.
That was payback.
Uh-huh.
You think that's right?
I mean, wow. Isn't that just, it's inexcusable. That's not how our justice system is supposed to work. You're not supposed to be doing payback for other things. You're supposed to be focusing on this particular case.
And the facts in the case. Period.
It's antithetical to how our justice system is supposed to work. Oh my God. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
And then there was this guy who was a star witness in the case, Kato Kalin, who I'd completely forgotten about until you dropped these videos into our
well, he was
vault.
He was trending yesterday, and Khloe Kardashian was trending yesterday on Twitter. It's like, Khloe, so sorry your dad died.
Right.
That was happening yesterday.
So I guess Kato felt compelled to say something. People were demanding a statement, and so he gave one.
I've been asked to comment on the death of O.J. Simpson. Foremost, I'd like to express my condolences to the children, to Sydney and to Justin, to Jason and Arnell. They lost their father, and that is never easy. I wish to express my love and compassion to the Goldmans, to Fred and to Kim. I hope you find closure. And finally, to the family of the beautiful Nicole Brown Simpson, may we always cherish her memories. Nicole was a beacon of light that burned bright. May we never forget her.
Why don't you? I think that was a nice statement.
It was a very nice statement. And then I was wondering, what happened to him? Like, what has he been doing? I know that he was an actor. He's like part of he's a SAG member and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't really know what happened to Kato Kaelin. Y'all remember he had like the hair, he had the mullet. He looked kind of like
a man,
surfer lion looking dude back in the day. And he's been on Cameo. You could buy, and I'm assuming he's still on Cameo. You can go and you can buy like some greetings from him, and he'll write a song for you, apparently.
Get up and start dancing.
This is what he'll do. Yeah. Kato Kaelin.
I was swimming today in the ocean. I saw a shark and it looked like a biter.
What is even happening?
I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, so he'll do that for you for the low price of, I don't know. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, what does he charge?
Probably $50, $100, I would imagine. It's probably $400 now. Now that he's like,
God.
Now that he's come back and he's gotten some more notoriety again. But yeah, he does that. So if you guys are interested in like a nice novel birthday gift for somebody, there you go.
Well, a lot of people probably remember that Norm Macdonald, God rest his soul.
God, I love him. My favorite.
He made a lot of jokes about OJ at OJ's expense, and they
fired.
were amazing.
He was fired from SNL for it. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, they were tame compared to, what some people will say now, or especially like some of the memes that are going around. But we've got a few of the favorites.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? And what a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case, all bets are off. Just a word of advice. Thanks, I'm Norm Macdonald, and now the fake news. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California. Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
I freaking love Norm. God, I miss him.
Yeah.
It's a travesty that he went before OJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For real.
So sad.
So, I mean, I guess condolences to anybody that loved him, but
I guess. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He was a murdering psychopath. So
he was complete psycho. So bye. Have fun in hell.
I think we have another. Yes, Karen Elliott. Thank you. Karen says it feels like it's only gotten worse since then. Look at how they handled George Floyd. What are we doing? Yeah. Race relations are 10 times worse. It's way worse.
10 times worse. Yeah.
I'm supposed to remind you, have some thank yous to dole out.
Thank you for reminding me, because I've been trying to do this all week, you guys. And then we get on a subject, and I got a Cheesecake Factory gift card from Beth Nicholson, and I wanted to say thank you, Beth, for that, because yum.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, it was for St. Patrick's Day, which was literally 1,000 years ago. So I am so bad at like getting to that. So thank you. And then also Susan Lukes. I think it's Lukes or Laux. I think it's Laux. Lukes. She sent some money for me for Theo's vet bill back in the day, which we've had several vet bills since then. So it's super helpful because he's been the problem child, like all sorts of issues with Theo. But she said it's from Suki and Mabley Moo. So thank you so much for that, because very, very helpful and so sweet. So thank you guys. I wanted to thank those two people. So thank you. We're going to bring it in. Do you want me to try to get Astrid?
Yes.
I'll try to get her.
Bring it in first. Bring it in. Oh, you guys, she is not bringing it in. We'll make her do it.
Come here, Astrid.
Is she not?
I think she's coming.
You did not bring it in.
No, she's not coming.
You did not bring it in.
I didn't bring it in. Okay. Coda wants to say hello, but Astrid's not coming. She's too comfy on the couch. Do you want to flap?
Excuse me.
Do you want to flap? I'm bringing it in. Really quick.
Okay, you're bringing it in.
Come here. You want to say hi and try to flap? I don't think you can do it. Come here. No, he's just sliming. He's just sliming me, but there's no flaps. He doesn't know how to do that yet, you guys. But he said hello.
He needs training. Michelle Boyd said, have an amazing weekend, ladies. Don't forget your lucky stabbing hats.
Don't forget them. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.